Hey, everybody. Welcome to Conversation with Coach Lloyd. Today, we have another great guest. We have Khadijah Diggs. Khadijah is a mother, project manager, and a Team USA and Silver Ironman all-world triathlete. Her mission is to promote a positive image of Muslim women and Islam in general through sports. Training and racing started off as a therapy to recover from a failing marriage and the loss of loved ones to cancer. It has remained that, but has also become how she expresses herself and shares who she is as a Muslim, a mother, and a woman. I want you to welcome my guest, Khadijah Diggs.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
Pretty good.
Good. I know just before we got on, we had we had some snafus trying to get connected, but I'm glad we were able to sort all of that out.
Yeah, the crazy part is I don't have internet in my house, but I have internet in the van. So.
In the van. That is so amazing. I've heard so much about the sports van, the team van that you use for training for your athletes. So I'm definitely gonna have to get the full background story on on the van. But I've been at races with you and seen you out there just representing, doing your thing. So can you just share a little bit about how you got into triathlon and multi-sports?
My first event was just an initiative for my sorority. I just wanted to do something a little bit different, and so I decided to do a triathlon. I'd never done one before. I didn't know how to train for one. A lot of the fear that a lot of people have about the swimming, I didn't have that because I'd always been a swimmer, and I learned how to swim in open water. And after my first event, I was hooked. I was completely hooked. And I tell everybody's like, oh, they thought maybe I did really well. I came in third to last. And that's not my age group. That's out of everybody.
Now, what distance was that?
It was a sprint, and it took me 2.5 hours.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. 2 hours and 36 minutes. Yeah.
I'm mad that all these years later you still remember the time that you had.
It was pretty bad, but I loved it. It was an all women's race, and to see all the women out there supporting each other, from the super fast women to, I mean, like myself, there was a huge crowd waiting for me, cheering me on because they knew it was my first triathlon, and I love the atmosphere.
So now that you've done your first sprint, got the bug, do you still stay with the sprint distances, or do you have a different distance that is like your sweet spot in the sport?
Well, I did for the first year and a half. All I did was sprint. Matter of fact, for probably the first 2 years, all I did was sprint. My favorite distance right now is the 70.3.
Okay.
Because of training, and I feel I can race it. But the funny thing is, I actually perform the best at the sprint distance and the 140.6, the extreme opposites of one another.
Really?
Yeah, the sprints, I have no sense of pace at all. I just hit the gas and pray I don't pass out. And on the 140.6, I love the bike, and I can just hit like between a 10 and 11 minute pace on the run and just hang on. And evident for a marathon, that's okay.
Okay.
But I like the 70.3 because I think strategy, and I'm really racing.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, no, I mean, that's interesting. It's like you're doing well in the sprint, doing well in the long, but you happen to like the one that gives you the challenge, where the one right in the middle is the one you're kind of like, oh, I like this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's interesting. So when you started out racing, have you been doing it for a number of years, or are you fairly new to the sport?
9 years.
9 years. Okay. So
May 2012.
Okay, so that's a pretty long history.
Yeah.
So what took you from being an athlete to now wanting to, coach other athletes and get them into the sport? What's that transition like?
Well, when I first made the Team USA, there was myself and Norm Sievers and Leslie Battle on the team. We were the only people of color. I was the only, and I'm to this day, I'm still the only Muslim woman. Um, and one of the things that drives me is I've received so much from the sport, the friendships that I've made, the places that I've traveled. I've literally gotten an opportunity, and I know you know this because you love to travel. I've gotten the chance to see the world on my bike, and I want that for other women, especially women of color, because I think the exposure and being able to travel just opens up your mind to so many different things. So one of the things that I really wanted to do was one, encourage a lot of other women of color to make a go at making Team USA. And I know the past multi-sport championships, I keep saying, throwing the count out there, and I'm not sure that's completely accurate, but 17 African Americans made the team, and I was completely thrilled. There was still no other Muslim. So one of the things that I've been trying to do for the past 3 years was mentor somebody, but I wanted to take it to the next level. So I pursued my USAT coaching certification, and it's still kind of a mentoring thing because I'm only coaching 3 to 4 athletes per year. But I wanted to make sure that I had all of the foundation to give them the very best of myself. So what I do, I coach 3 to 4 athletes per year, and I try to keep the cost to them minimal. They have a run-specific coach, a swim-specific coach, strength training. Christy Fenner, she's our team yogi. So what I try to do is give them right off the bat this world-class experience, so they have this solid foundation in the sport, and they're able to pursue big dreams.
Okay. Now I know you mentioned, being first on Team USA, and now over the years we're starting to get a few more people of color, out there. Not representation matters. Once you see someone who looks like you out there, it's like, oh, okay, I didn't even know it was a thing, so maybe I can do it too. One of the things I wanted to kind of dive into was, what are some of the big challenges you see with diversifying the sport?
One of the reasons that I pursued the coaching aspect of triathlon was, I think there aren't that many coaches that I think African American athletes feel like are really approachable. And one of the main things that I talk about with my athletes is, and I know it seems kind of like MBTA, we talk about it all the time. That's the Black Triathletes Association, hair care, and, the clothing doesn't fit the way, it should fit, or they don't have as much exposure to swimming as maybe a non, I don't even know the correct words to use, a non-Black person, okay? May have. So
right.
I think it's just the relatability, and also, like I said, just exposure. I didn't really know. All I knew about triathlon was the Ironman in Kona. I didn't even know that sprint distances existed, and that's how I got started with it. And then Muslim women, when they see me, they're like, oh, so what do you wear when you swim? What do you wear when you run? How do you stay cool? So I think in them seeing me doing it, that they know that it's possible for them too. And I always keep telling people, okay, I made the team and I do okay, but I want to see somebody win it. I want them to know that they have the ability to be a champion.
I like that.
So
I like that. So I know, like, when I started, there were even few of us out there, whereas 9 years ago there was a few more, and it's hard to have the discussion of diversity or even more of us when, depending on when you started and you look at the landscape, it's significantly more populated now than it was then, but it's still not a large representation. you know,
Exactly.
what are a couple things you think could kind of help that? What, as a group, as a community of athletes, coaches, how do you see us working and getting that even more so that more of us are, getting that experience to race?
Just continuing to encourage, especially younger athletes, to participate. Making sure that we engage athletes who, um, if we don't assist them, maybe they have the ability, but if we don't assist them, they wouldn't have the opportunity to race. One of the athletes that I coach, and it's not that she comes from this poor family or anything like that. She's a college student. She's working on her PhD. And when you talk about buying a $10,000 bike, it's like it blows your mind. And then worrying about paying for coaching and that type of thing. Amazingly talented athlete. Why she was skipped over by a collegiate program, I have no idea. She swims like a 115, 120 per 100 in the pool. She's an
Wow.
amazing cyclist. We just got to keep working on that run. I mean, she's got elite level ability. She just hasn't had, nobody has looked at her and said, "Wow, Holly might be a great triathlete." But
Right.
reaching athletes that may have been overlooked.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, with swim times like that, yeah, I'm surprised I guess just getting the right exposure right in front of the right people to know that you're even in that space,
Yeah.
would be the factor there. Cause yeah, I mean, that's a pretty impressive swim
Yeah.
pace.
Yeah, and she's done 2 triathlons. She won the first one overall, and then
Oh,
second in her age group. And it was the first time she had done an Olympic distance. And she it was funny. She hugged me at the finish line. She said, "That run was real."
oh wow. Well,
Yeah.
I want to kind of go back and start talking a little bit about some of the races that you've done,
Mhm.
just to kind of get a feel of how you race and what you like. I know one of the big races I've seen you do is the one in Cuba,
Oh yeah.
and we've talked about it. So, you know, I don't know too many people who've raced Cuba. I think you and maybe one or two other folks that I know have gone down and participated in that race. So if you can give me a bird's eye view, a on the ground experience of what it's like, that the whole race, the logistics, the travel, so folks know whether to add that onto their race calendar.
It is my absolute favorite race. I have tons of friends and family there. And it's considered kind of their national championship. So everybody is out. When you are on the bike and when you're on the run, there's people on the street cheering. Um, one year, Javier Sotomayor, and if you know, he's a world record holder for the high jump, gave me my trophy and I almost lost it. Um, but it's a beautiful race. You swim in Hemingway Marina, you cycle through the streets of Havana, and then the run is on the Malecon, and you finish at the iconic Hotel Nacional.
Now,
And they make a big deal about the awards. It's an amazing experience.
is it just one race distance or multiple
They have
distances available?
they have a sprint. They have an Olympic distance, which is only open to Team USA athletes, and or elite level athletes. And then they have a 70.3.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So you can pick either the sprint or the half and get there.
yeah,
Okay. Okay. And it's a ocean swim. So that means clear, warm water,
yeah.
salt water. Okay.
It's in the marina, so you go a little bit out of the marina and then you come back in. So it's protected. It's not like you're super crashing waves, but it is an ocean swim.
Okay. Yeah, I know a lot of people, when they think of open water, whenever they hear ocean swims, they start to kind of get a little concerned. If they're here in the States and they're accustomed to lakes or rivers, sometimes it's thought of an open water ocean swim kind of,
Yeah,
throws folks. I remind them that with salt water, you get that buoyancy of it. So,
yeah.
it's not bad.
Yeah, it's my favorite. I love ocean swims are my all my fastest swim times are in the ocean. I love it. I love it.
Really? Okay. What's another good race that you enjoy doing?
Um, I think everybody should do Dubai. I had a horrific race there, but I mean, the whole setup. I mean, the the athletes briefing was a plated dinner, and there were camels walking around. I have to post a video because there's even a video of me and walking, trying to find. Janice Tucker was there with me. I was like, wow, this is really glitzy. And then
Wow.
there were chandeliers in the transition area.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You can't just gloss over that.
Yeah,
Chandeliers.
chandeliers in the transition. You literally sit and you have to run through this. It was insane. It was
I mean, I know they do things big, but that's a whole nother level of. Uh,
It's a must-do race. Even if you are not fit, just go do it. It was
now that's a 70.3 or an Olympic, or what distance is that?
70.3.
Okay. Now I can only imagine the travel logistics with doing an international race. How are you dealing with the travel, the nutrition, the logistics when you decide to go on the road for Dubai or Cuba? What are some logistical things you kind of plan for and prepare for that help you when you travel that other folks would benefit from?
So one of the things I do is I travel with what's called a go bag. So in my go bag is everything that I need to race. Key things like a toothbrush, medicine, um, change of underwear in case your clothing doesn't get there. Um, and I keep all my nutrition in a huge Ziploc bag, and then each of the packets labeled. So all of that's with me. And I also take a few like snacks with me, go-to snacks, because some countries you never know, if you're going to be able to get the kind of snack that you need, or you're going to be able to find it quickly. So always carry a go-to backpack and a tablet for communication, and then just travel as light as possible. Um, I travel minimalistic, and I I personally, when I travel, I stay at an Airbnb or with a host family because I feel like you miss some of why you're traveling when you stay at a hotel. I mean, I can stay
Okay.
at the Marriott here in Atlanta, so why, go stay at the Marriott if I'm going to Denmark?
Okay.
I can't think of any race overseas that I've done where I've stayed in a hotel. I've always stayed, even in Dubai, I stayed in this. It was like a janky guest house, and it was really loud, but I opened the door and the beach was to the right and the mosque was there. So I'd go pray and then go dive in the water. It was amazing.
So you want to just be fully in the culture of wherever you are when you travel.
Exactly. Yeah. And just if you're not now, when I'm in Cuba, I drink the water, but that's because I've been so many times that I've been going since I was a child. But make sure you're drinking bottled water, staying hydrated. That just the basics. Just keep it light and enjoy.
Okay. Okay. Now, one of the other areas I wanted to touch base on, we as adult athletes, when everyone is starting to get into multi sports, they're trying to balance work, life, family, and everything like that. And I know you have a big family.
Yes.
Um,
It's smaller though. They're all
right, they're aging out. They're aging out, but
yeah.
they're still part of the family. So I know you have a number of kids, big family. So what are the parenting styles, tricks of being an athlete with a big family, and how do you coordinate it all so that everybody still gets what they need, but you as an athlete get the training that you need done? Because I know there's got to be a lot of balancing that goes into place, as well as communicating. So for parents who are trying to be triathletes, who they may have one kid or two kid, but I know you have a bigger family. What are some of the tricks of the trade to making it all work out?
Yeah. One thing is give yourself grace. You're not going to be perfect. I remember even in I think it was 2017 or 18. my twins came to me and said, "Mommy, can you travel less?" So you just keeping the communication open as far as what's okay with them and what's not. Um, they are. I try to involve them in my training in any way that I can. Even now, like recently, we got the van. They love being in the van, so they go with me to the lake. And I got this used kayak, so they'll kayak and I'll swim behind them. My daughter loves to bike ride. She recently told me that she wanted to do a triathlon, and we trained for it, and the triathlon came up, and we were talking about it, and she said she only wanted to do the triathlon because I do triathlon. And I said, "Baby,
Wow.
what do you want to do?" So I told her, no, no, no. You don't do something because you think mommy wants you to do it. Let's figure out what you want to do. And all she wants to do is swim. And that's fine.
Okay.
And now if she's older and she says, hey, I want to do a triathlon, then we'll go for it. The funny thing is she did all the swimming, all the biking, all the running. And 2 weeks later, she's like, I don't want to do it. She's like, oh, she's 11. She wants to make mommy happy. But I learned later in life that you want to honor your parents, but you can't live for your parents, you know. And I've always tried to teach my children to one pursue their passion and to make themselves happy, because you can't make others happy unless you yourself are happy.
That's true. That's true. So I mean, letting them have fun by seeing you, in the sport doing what makes you happy, that just kind of empowers them to find what makes them happy. And maybe just one discipline, but
Yeah,
you just kind of keep that door open.
yeah. I have a daughter she loves boxing, and it surprised the mess out of me because she's super quiet. She's an artist, and her first her first sparring match, we had to like pull her off the kid. I was like, oh my gosh, what is that? She's an amazing boxer. She's just really, she's light and she's quick.
Wow. Wow. So now I want to get a little bit into the training group that you started, DISC, Diversity Infusion Syndicate.
Yes,
Um, you know, and the van. So first tell me, let everyone know what really DISC is all about. I know it's a nonprofit, and it's about diversity, but give me a little bit more information about, what was the driving force that got you to get it started, and how does it work?
so we kind of even led into it earlier. It's just an opportunity to take everything that's been given to me, package it up, and give it to 3 to 4 women every year. So the women that we selected this year, we wanted to focus on women who already had kind of I don't want to say prominence, but we're already in the community. We knew we're givers. So we want to give this to people who are going to exponentially spread the experience. And the experience is about triathlon and bringing diversity to the sport, but it's also about empowering women to help other women. So that's primarily what DISC is all about. So every year, and I'll open up applications again in the December timeframe. We'll take 3 women, one being a brand new triathlete, one who wants to pursue the elite level or pursue attempting to make Team USA, and one who has been doing triathlon but would like to attempt to do a 70.3 or 140.6. And that's what we have a mix of this year. Nora Goodson, she's been a runner for quite some time. She's this year the only Muslim on the team. She has never done a triathlon before, but she's an amazing runner. She does a 129, 130 half.
Wow.
Yeah, and and her cycling has come up very quickly. She's gone from falling off the bike to cycling she cycles about 17 miles an hour now, and that's not super impressive, but to go from 0 to 17 miles per hour, that's pretty
I'll take it.
yeah.
I'll take it.
And she didn't know how to swim, but she a couple of weeks ago was able to swim from one end of the pool to the other. And what I love about Nora is uh, she asks questions, and she's fearless. She'll
So
gonna try.
so is this the first season that you're doing disc or
Yeah, this is
okay.
the this is our fledgling year. So I tell the young ladies, I'm so grateful that they have trusted me as a new coach in a new program to pursue this. It's it's like a sisterhood. It's really a journey that all of us are going on together. Nisha, what she has done several triathlons, but they've all been in the pool. So Rev
Okay.
3 was her first experience doing the open water swim, and when she crossed the line, she felt like a superhero, and that's what I want to give to them. And even like I said, Holly, this is her first Olympic distance, and to make the podium and to never have done a triathlon that long. They're already amazing women. Nisha's a professor at Georgia Tech. I told you Holly's pursuing her PhD in
Hmm.
environmental sciences. Nora is an engineer, but she has chosen to be a stay-at-home mom. They're very intelligent women, but they're givers, and sometimes you give so much you forget to give to yourself. And I
Yeah.
think this is really going to empower them just in growing themselves and to even be better givers.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta, those who are giving, someone's got to give them so that they have more to give,
Yeah.
take care of them as well. So you put in your application to join the team, you get selected to join the team, and then you're providing them with the coaching, the everything they need for that season.
So this year we didn't have, because everything just kind of rolled out. We didn't have everything in place that we wanted, but we were able to provide discounted packages for the swimming. Their kits were provided by Tri-Serena. Tri-Serena also went out on a limb and designed a full hijabi kit that will be sold off the shelf.
Oh
That
wow.
was previewed at Rev 3. Um, and not, I've known her, the young lady that owns, Stefani, who owns Tri-Serena for a number of years, because I use her kits for my practice kits. And when I mentioned what I was doing, it wasn't like I even had to ask. She said, "What can I do to help?" And the same thing with my nutrition company. They provided an initial package of nutrition for them. They have their own discount code that they can use um, for the year. The same thing with F2C. They sponsored me when sponsoring a Black Hispanic Muslim probably wasn't the best marketing move, but they've always you know taken care of me. They provide great nutrition, and when I mentioned what I was doing, they what can we do? They didn't
Now,
ask for anything. What can we do?
now I know you've been a champion and outspoken on getting kits, because I remember when you first started, you were kind of like, I mean, short
So
of saying you were making your own.
yeah,
I won't go as far as to say that, but your initial story was you kind of putting things together to figure it out. And since then, you've been kind of pushing brands and companies to cater to the Muslim woman
yeah,
experience as athletes. And now, I mean, when I look, I see it and I'm like, wait a minute, they're naming other women, or I see other people in ads or TV or commercials or thing, and I'm like, I remember when Khadijah was, trying to make some stuff just for herself, and now I'm seeing it, prominently out there. So, what are some good resources that a Muslim woman looking to get into the sport should go to find, hey, here's where I would get X, Y, and Z, for the sport, because you just wouldn't even know where. Sometimes you just don't even know where to start when you're interested.
so I've literally worn every sports hijab known to man. I came across a company called ASEA Modest Sportswear. They make the best hijabs, bar none. They're cool, and they have several different styles. The first time I wore one of their hijabs was actually in Havana. It was, I believe, 90 degrees, and I know you know how the humidity is down there. I swore I thought I had run out of transition without my hijab on. I was so full. I literally started pulling on. I have one on now. I wear them all the time. I have every color, and that's one of the things I like about them too. Not only do they have 3 different styles, they have, I think, 10 different colors to go with every every outfit you want to wear. As far as kits are concerned, a gentleman named Jason Reinhardt, and this was also a partnership with F2C Nutrition. He made my first real hijabi kit that wasn't a Team USA. And and not to knock Roka because they tried. My first Team USA kit was literally, they took the same kit that everybody else had and they heat pressed sleeves on. That was it. This went out of his way to make a kit that was specifically designed for someone who intended to race fully covered. I used it today on my training ride. It's cool. It fits well. I got compliments on it and people asking where could they get one, and they weren't even Muslims. And he also made the kit. He subsequently sold his organization to a company called Exceed, XCEED. And he also designed the Wakanda kit that I wear, the lavender glow kit that I wear.
Okay.
T'Challa beads on them. He designed that one as well. Those are the absolute best in the business. They're so cooling that when I stop moving, I have to get them off because I get cold.
Wow.
But they're custom made and they run about $700.
Okay. Now
Tri-Serenas, they will be comparable to anybody else's kits as far as cost is concerned. I wore one at Rev 3. My athletes wore them at Rev 3. They loved them. She even, one of the designs that we talked about was having a watch hole. So when you pull your kit down, a lot of people have to inch it up a little bit to see that it has a watch hole for it. So when you pull it over, the watch comes right through. It's a beautiful kit.
Okay. So now, now there's a lot more options available, or not even a lot more, just options.
Yeah.
Where before there really weren't much, if anything at all.
Coolers and sleeves and sewing this onto that. And fortunately, I could sew. It was okay, but that's part of the accessibility piece of it. People wanting to participate because, and just because you're covered doesn't mean you don't want to look nice. I wanted a kit that made me look good.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So that's, and when I go to race, I'm proud of how I look and what I represent. And that's important, especially for young girls. They want to look good too. They don't want to go out with, 3 pieces of different colored stuff sewn together. So that's important, especially for most women. I think it's important to have gear that looks good, that's cool, that allows them to not just participate, but to compete. I'm competitive.
Yeah. I've been out there with you.
Yeah. And I'm not a world champion, but I love to race.
Yeah. So when it comes to racing, what kind of motivates you? What's your why?
I don't know. It's funny. I just love being out there. Just the thrill of the competition. And I'd rather be in a race where I come in way in the back and everybody's fought a great battle than to win an easy race. I just love it. I know Vaughn Spencer.
Yes.
We love to go at it. And I love when she's fit and I'm fit and we're both, it's exciting to me. And when I see other people, reach goals that I know that they've dug for, it just sets me over the moon. Watching Tientia finally get that, and she doesn't pick the easy races. She goes at it. And if she meets a goal, she celebrates. And if she doesn't, she said, you know what? It'll be sweeter when I get it.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about her.
Yeah, she's a serious competitor.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't poke that bear. I made that mistake racing with her earlier this year. She was on the run and I poked the bear and told her to catch me.
Yeah.
So
And
oh,
she
she
can.
sure did. She sure did. She ran me down.
Yeah.
Took a few miles, but she ran me down eventually. So it was really exciting.
I just love the thrill of the competition. It's exciting to me just to see how hard I can push myself, and it's fun.
Now
Fun.
I saw that in your racing, sometimes you have like a dedication or for a particular race or either a person or a cause that event is dedicated to. Is that what you always did, or is that just something new?
Um, I I started doing it. I One of the things that helped me in triathlon was it was kind of an escape. I lost I call her my niece, but she was my best friend's daughter. She was the same age as my daughter Jenna. I lost her to brain cancer, and it really disturbed me. And then a year and a half later, I lost my father-in-law, and I had already started racing at this point. Um, he was there's I have a picture of him posted on Instagram. He was there when I did my first triathlon, and it was funny because there's a video of him saying when I crossed the line, "Oh dear Jesus, like what has she done to herself?" And the funny thing is, the first thing he asked me after I crossed the line was, "When are you going to do the next one?" Before I even said anything, he knew how much fun I had, and he died of pancreatic cancer 3 months before I made the U.S. team.
Mm.
Um, and he just believed in me. Me and his son had divorced, and he would come visit, and he said, "I love you no matter what. You're always going to be my daughter." And then everybody knows Dawn. Dawn and I just really, I don't know, I just connected with her. My youngest daughter is also a cancer survivor. And even in Dawn's severe struggle, she called to check on my daughter. And hers was, and I don't say just a mole because cancer is cancer, but it wasn't as severe as it was something we were able to move. She had treatment and she was fine. But she called to check on my daughter. I even still sometimes watch the infamous I Am Florida finish video. There's a gentleman that I crossed the line with. We cross with our hands together, and I give him a hug, and you can hear Dawn in the background saying, "Oh," because they wanted to know who was the guy that I was hugging. It's funny. But cancer awareness is my national philanthropy. Um, I this I had dedicated the year when the pandemic started um, to Dawn. I actually had my PB, my fastest 70.3 um, at the start of that year because I was like, I'm going all out. I mean, just foot all the way to the ground, and I couldn't. I did a 5:07, and at my age,
Wow.
yeah, I was really surprised. I was darn near dead at the end, but I just yeah, it it makes me float. Just remembering those people that were always there for me, for no reason at all.
Yeah. Yeah. So with that, so last season was dedicated to her. The whole season kind of got thrown out.
And
Um,
this year is for her.
okay, so this is her season as well.
Yeah, yeah, because even on the back of the disc shirt, and I think somebody caught a picture of it. There's a hashtag. She lived. One of the things Dawn always said is, "I am not dying of cancer. I'm living with cancer." She refused to accept that she was dead until she took her last breath. And I think that's the lesson that she taught all of us is that we have to live this life. From the second we're born, we're dying. So live.
Yeah,
Do something with that space. And that's a hashtag that will always be with me. She lived. And it's on the back of the disc team shirt.
she did. Yeah, I mean, it was great to be out there racing with her and getting to know her. I did several events where she was out there racing or on the sidelines towards the end, just kind of, keeping track of everyone. And and that was her tagline.
That's what she said.
That is true. Where she's tracking you and reporting back to the larger group so that everyone else could know. So if you weren't there on site, you knew you had Dawn to kind of like report back and let everyone know where, who was where and the sightings and keeping one in the loop and in the mix. So
yeah, I met her through the tracking before I actually physically met her. She would track my races, and that's how we kind of met. Yeah, and that, like I said, the Ironman Florida video, that's a class. That and me hugging Tom Shear at the end of Ironman Louisville were classic. Those are two finishes I will absolutely never forget.
Oh wow! Well, I know you have another big finish planned because I see that you're doing the ITU long course. So you qualified for the World Championships out there in Almere, Amsterdam. So you'll be heading out there later on this year to race. First, tell me about what you did to qualify, what that all looks like, because most folks don't even know you have there outside of Kona. You don't even realize that there are other events that you can qualify for and go do. And then tell me a little bit about what your plans are for Almere.
Yeah. So every year they have the long course national championships. The year that I qualified, and you were there. Were you?
That was that Miami or
yes,
okay.
Miami.
Yes.
Yeah, so you to make the team, you had to come in the top 15, I believe it was.
Okay.
And they also take 2 athletes from the ultra distance national championships, which I did not do because I was doing another race at the time. So I did the 70.3 championships, and I don't even remember what place I came in, but I made it. So I think I came in 7th this year.
Okay.
But so we'll go over there, and I'm excited this year because the race is a full. It's a 140.6 versus being that hybrid ITU distance.
Oh, really?
It normally is. Yeah, and I really think I'll perform a lot better because I do better at the long when there's a longer swim and bike. I do better.
Okay.
So hopefully I can wear some people down, and I keep putting this in the universe. I really want to try to podium. I think I can do it. I think I can do it.
Well, if it's the same course, it's really nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
We did that. I did that one right before the pandemic. So I think that was 2019.
Yeah, and
so
we are using that course, so that's the reason that they didn't. There was no way to kind of chop it up and make it the right distance.
yeah, I can see that because it's all in a lake swim, and then I think it's a 2-loop bike course. So yeah, it'd be kind of hard to shave anything off of that particular route based on where it's set up. But yeah, you're gonna have a really good time there. It's a good venue, good location. Can be pretty fast. Only a couple areas where you got to kind of keep your eye out for, because it turns into like a single lane.
Oh yeah, it's I heard in that area as well.
Yeah, it's everybody's on. It's just a single track, no passing because it's like a small little trail. But
okay.
otherwise, it's can be a little windy, but it's gonna be good.
Yeah, so I'm excited about it. I'm a little nervous about the restrictions. Having one daughter who is an asthmatic and my other daughter who is a cancer survivor. I've been ultra careful during the pandemic, so just making sure that I follow restrictions. I've been vaccinated, travel fully masked, and I've made arrangements to quarantine when I get back, so to make sure that pursuing my goal doesn't harm them.
Now,
live video. So if you come in, this is one of the children's. If you come in, they're going to see you. Do you want to say hello?
So so with your race schedule, how do you balance out? Because I mean, it looks like you've got some short distances, some long distances. If you're doing Almere, and then I see you have something coming up after that, you know, how do you map out your schedule? Do you have a season, or is it just, hey, I'm just going to race all year?
It kind of ends up I'm racing all year because I do Cuba every year.
Okay.
But I try to map things out based on my goals, and I plan my year in advance. So probably by October of this year, I'll know kind of what I want to do the following year. And I have a lot of help. Yulene Josiah Tanner, everybody knows her. She was my run coach for the longest. She's like, I call her my best friend, but I mean, we might as well be sisters. She helps me with the children. A lot of the travel that I do wouldn't be possible without her. I have a lot of community support in my ability to travel. And like when I go to Cuba, most of the time, you know, the kids go with me. As a matter of fact, we go in the summertime. We didn't go this year, but we usually go in July to go down there and train, just to hang out and train and swim.
Okay. So it looks like you're going to be doing, you know, Almere and then turn around and then do Florida.
Yeah, I'm excited about. There's so many people from the Black Triathletes Association are doing it.
Okay.
I love that. I think it's because of the ocean swim. I love that, and I love the venue. And I want to try to break 12 hours. I think I can do it.
I think so.
I think I can. I mean, go for it. If I don't, so what? You know, it's just.
I mean, you know, let's see. That's September. You got what? That's about 8 weeks between Almere and Florida.
Yeah, just proper recovery and build up, and I'm cognizant of the fact, you know, I'm an older athlete. I take my recovery seriously. I really do. All the little gadgets and I got all
that. I've got them too. You know, I think once you cross over like 40, all of a sudden you got to take, you know, for me, I know I had to take extra time and make sure I recover well between workouts. You don't jump back up and just hit it like you did in your 20s or 30s. At least for me, that's how I was.
And I was doing this then. So I was, you know, I ran track, and then after I left grad school, I didn't really do too much of anything.
Okay. Yeah. But now you're hooked. Now, do you ever, I know some triathletes only do tries. Do you also do like just straight runs, or is it only tries?
I don't really like road races. I used to do road races because Yulene is a runner. So she would go to these races and I'd be like, oh, well, I might as well jump in and get good training. But I am in love with, I recently joined my cycling club race team.
Okay.
Now, okay, I guess it's kind of like my first triathlon. I DNF'd the first road race. Came in third in the time trial, and I didn't participate in the crit because I was a little bit concerned about, I hadn't been on my road bike. I was concerned about my bike handling skills. But open cycling, oh, there's going to be some of that on my schedule next year.
I mean, I've got a friend who has been, you know, trying to get me into the crit and the cycling of it all. Yeah. You know, but I'm almost ready to try it. Almost. So you'll have to keep me posted on how much you love it.
Yeah, I'm all in on the crit, and I stayed and watched the crit events after I did the time trial. I am all in.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm even looking at, you know, I had the N+1 rule. I'm looking for a crit bike.
Yeah. You know, I've got tri bikes, and now it's like, man, maybe I need a gravel bike, maybe I need a road bike, you know, one of everything, so I can participate, since I can't use a tri bike on the crit. So You know, it's just those options. So good. So just a couple things before I let you go. So I'm just trying to see like any good advice you can give a new athlete just getting started. You know, what's some good advice that you either have, you know, you got when you were first starting out, or you've picked up over the years that, you know, if someone's just starting out, what would be some good advice you'd give them in navigating their way through the try?
I would say first find a good mentor, and a good community. Um, Black Triathletes Association, Fast Chicks, they're amazing, supportive organizations, and reach out and try to find a mentor. There are athletes out there, experienced athletes out there who are willing to give of themselves. Um, Also, don't be afraid to set goals, to set big goals. And I tell this story all the time. The first time I I said out loud I wanted to try to make Team USA, somebody laughed at me. For some people that
Hmm.
would have deterred them. Um, I'm tiny. I got a little bit of Napoleon syndrome, so that kind of set off a flame for me. But for some people, that can just kill people's dreams.
Okay.
Don't don't be afraid to set goals and go after them, and don't let anybody tell you that your dream is silly. And have fun. Have Do not take yourself that seriously. Have fun.
I know that's a big thing for you. Just
Yeah,
just kind of enjoying it and being out there and having fun with it.
yeah. And when it's all said and done, people aren't going to remember how many titles you had, or how many races you won, or half the time we can't even remember our own time. Just remember your smile, how you made them feel. Those are the things that don't go away. So just enjoy yourself, enjoy the experience, live.
That's a big part of it. That's a big part of it. To just have fun, go out, enjoy yourself, and just live.
Yeah.
So yeah. Well, Khadijah, I appreciate you taking some time to chit chat with me, telling me about your programs. I know I've got your information out, so if anyone's looking to kind of get some information about you, they can find your website at khadijahtriathlete.com. They can also find you on IG, and of course with DISC, the information about the program is on your website. So anyone who's looking for that mentorship, you know, they know where to find you. And for now, I believe it's only in Atlanta, right? You're only doing the disc athletes locally, or are you going to
One, one,
expand?
one of my athletes is in Michigan. I was concerned about not having the athletes right here, but it's worked out well. We have two training camps every year, um, and we all travel together to Rev 3. So that camaraderie and that sisterhood is really it's really worked out well. So I'm gonna try to stay focused on the Atlanta area athletes, but I'm open to bringing in athletes who are committed to at least traveling to the training camp and being a part of the event. So it's all
And
about their level.
I almost forgot. I don't know how I forgot this. The van.
I'm in the
I,
van now. So we're
I
gonna
know you're in the van. I need to get like a little bit. I've heard so much about the van, you know, and this project, and I saw you building it and you were posting about it. So, you know, what's the story behind the van?
so I have long training days, and I was so tired of living out of the back of my Jeep. Um, and also going to races. I hated staying in hotels if I wasn't able to find an Airbnb. And I saw this thing about van life on YouTube, and I was like, I don't want to live in it, but what would I need to be able to train out of it? So, and I'm gonna just kind of
Yes, I'd love the tour.
so um and I don't want it to be like the typical van tour, but so when you come in the van, you see right here, there's a sink and I have a
Okay.
shower. It's kind of the earth shower. Um, so you fill this, and it heats up. and you can take a quick shower. I keep all my swim stuff hung up in here, and a basket that my athletes gave me with like transition stuff. There's a sink, it works, and just a cabinet with, snacks and food that I would use when I'm at a race or for the day. Some bench seats that turn into a bed. I have a slat that turns it into a bed. And in the back here,
so
I
are
can
we
fit
so
2 bikes.
so when you leave your house, you're taking the van to the training ride, or
Oh
you
yeah,
driving?
I,
Okay,
I roll up like this. The bike is in the
okay,
back of the van, and I
got you,
roll up like
got
this.
you.
My nutrition is in I have a refrigerator.
Oh
So
wow.
my nutrition is in the refrigerator. I keep all of my FTP nutrition right here. Got my prayer mat.
Okay.
I can stop and whatever I gotta do. I can I went to Ironman Chattanooga and I parked in the parking lot across from Transition, and that's where I was.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
Now,
and
now,
it's cool.
if I'm not mistaken, you were doing a lot of the configurations and retrofitting it for your needs, right?
Yeah.
Like
So
you
me and the twins did this ourselves.
right. So it was a family project where you guys built the van.
Yeah. Yeah. So Daniel measures, Aaliyah checks his measurement, mommy nails and screws.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Yeah, I saw the pictures, from time to time, and I had so many questions, but it's like you just didn't even know where to start with the questions. It was just, where you just see the picture of like, yeah, now I'm putting in the sink. And it's like, wait a minute, are you putting a sink in a van?
Yeah. So, I mean, I have a solar panels on the roof. I have a 100 amp hour battery. I want to get a 200 amp hour. It doesn't go super low, but just in case there's cloudy days, I haven't had any issues yet. So you can see, I don't know. So all the lights, I
Okay.
have the microwave. I have a microwave, working refrigerator, and I have to put this out on Instagram. Tom Shear I called that man once at 2:00 in the morning. I didn't even know what time it was, asking him a question about electrical. And he just told me, I have to thank him. He's entertained all of my crazy over this.
Oh wow.
It's
So
not 100%. I have a few things I want to, I'm going to do a cabinet to enclose some of this electrical, and I have 2 windows that I want to put in. But I'm
okay.
going to do that in the off season.
And yeah, I mean that, if you do a rehab project during the tri season, I mean that's just gonna get in the way of training time. You
Yeah.
gotta do that in the off season. So
Yeah.
so when you go now for races, so when you drive, you're gonna just drive from Atlanta to Chattanooga to Florida in the
We
van.
rolled up with Rev 3. We rolled up right behind the Fast Chicks tent. Had the recovery boots going. The athletes came in, got a drink, took a nap. Yeah.
I saw the pictures. I wish I could have made it. It wasn't. From what I saw, it was just an epic event with all of you guys out there representing.
Oh yeah, it was and even the team, we kind of did a debrief of everything that went on, and they were saying that when they do the Fast Chicks takeover, that having the disc team there to be a part of that, we should do that every year. They just felt like for their first race experience as a team that it was so welcoming, and so we even had a guest cyclist, another Muslim young lady who cycles with Aisha McGowan, was our guest cyclist for the relay, and
Okay.
a swimmer who races with Marcus Fitz,
Yep.
so that we could have a disc relay. And it was really just that combination of all of the organizations working together. It was just so powerful. It was just, to me, it was just so powerful.
Yeah, I saw one of the pictures, and when I saw it, I was like, whoever got that picture is gonna have give me 10 years, and that picture is gonna come back out with like all the all stars of women of color in triathlon. I think it was you, Vaughn, Sika Henry, and there was a fourth woman in the picture. And I was like, wow, okay, that was one serious panel that they put together for that event.
It was an amazing experience. I couldn't, you couldn't have scripted it. It was just uh, my first athlete, Nisha, like I said, completing her first open water swim. And she had a death in the family only 2 days before, and she said she's going to do it anyway. And just the relief and the pride that she had in herself. And then the relay team, they had just met each other several days before, and just seeing the camaraderie between them and working together. I told them they're honorary disc athletes. There's this they that experience just made the first year. And then I got to meet Holly's whole family. I guess they were kind of confused. What is all this triathlon stuff, and who is this short woman? I got to meet. She has an amazing support system that I think a lot of us sometimes take for granted, and that I think if you're going to be an elite athlete, that's the kind of support system that you need to have. So yeah, but the van is just like I said. I wanted to have a home base for when I train, to be able to bring my children. And then when I started thinking about disc, I was like, oh, the athletes, I can get a couple of bikes in here. It can be, where we meet up during the races. It just, it's nothing fancy. It really isn't. It's very homemade, but everything works, and
it's functional.
Yeah, and just it's comfortable.
I've got a feeling that might catch on. I think you put a few more you put a few more pictures out there, and in addition to N+1, it'll be N+ van.
Yeah.
Where you're gonna have a few folks like, hey, you know what? We can't just drive our cars anymore. We got to put a van together to hit this race up, and make it like a tailgate kind of.
Yeah. Can you imagine
a whole different experience?
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
I think we're gonna have a few conversations around the country now about van options for the next season.
Yeah. Well, and if I can do it, hey, come on.
Absolutely. So, well, anyway, again, thanks so much for talking to me. I really appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you at one of the events sometime this year. I'm sure we'll get a chance to race. I always enjoy racing with you, knowing either I'm chasing you, trying to catch you, or you're somewhere right behind me, waiting to breathe on my neck.
Yeah.
Either on the bike or the run, and just trying to stay either in front of you or track you down. So thanks so much. Really appreciate all you're doing for the tri community, and as well as women of color and the Muslim community, getting them involved in the sport. So thanks so much for it.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for just being a pillar in the community. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, everybody. I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
If you like the video, make sure you hit the like button, share, subscribe, and hit the notification button.